100 years ago, on October 1913, Henry Ford introduced one of history's great inventions, the assembly line. It transformed industry worldwide.
Have you ever thought about who was thinking about the cars that changed the world? Meet the boy who used to be a farmer and became a visionary. He changed the way people traveled and many other businesses around the world. Who was this genius who wove dreams out of the threads of everyday life? What made him plant the seeds of change that have grown into a memory that is still strong in our lives today? How did he go from being poor to being a leader in innovation? In this video, we will tell you about the boy farmer who started the Ford Company. Are you ready to start? In 1879, Henry Ford, a 16-year-old farmer from Dearborn, Michigan, left his father's farm to head towards Detroit. Expected to inherit the family business, Henry never showed interest in it. Henry was a self-paced learner who took an early interest in mechanics. At the age of 12, he learned how to disassemble and reassemble pocket watches, and later established a reputation as a watch repairman. His interest in mechanics became obsession when he saw a steam engine for the first time at the age of 13. Henry built his first steam engine by the age of 15, but his mother passed away, leaving him with a strong relationship with the land. After losing her, Henry sought a new path in life and left the village. Detroit was growing into an industrial city, and Henry committed to studying all there was to know about machines. He was hired by the Michigan Car Company, a streetcar manufacturer, but started only 6 days before being let go. He worked as a jeweler at night, cleaning and fixing watches for $3 a day, 6 days a week. After turning 19, Henry decided to return to Michigan, where he detested farming and mostly played and experimented with the equipment he discovered. His father had bought a portable steam engine, which became standard among farmers. After spending most of his time with this machine, Henry became so proficient with it that a neighbor paid him $3 to run it for him. Ford's stock and knack for machines spread throughout Michigan, and he was employed by Westinghouse Engine Company of Schenectady after word of his skills spread throughout Michigan. Henry Ford, a pioneer in the field of electricity, discovered the gas engine during his work in 1885. He was initially enthralled by the gas engine but struggled to understand its operation due to its electric spark. He applied for work as a night engineer at the Edison Illuminating Company, the largest electric company in Detroit, where he worked on steam engines to power 1,000 homes. In 1893, Henry and Clara were introduced to electricity through their son, Edsel Bryant Ford. Henry was promoted to chief engineer and began building a horseless carriage with his first functional gas engine. He completed his gas-engined experimental car, the quadricycle, in June 1896. However, the car had several problems, including a lack of a cooling mechanism, making it susceptible to overheating after extended use. Henry made several modifications to the car, including installing a cooling system. The mayor of Detroit helped Henry start and finish his second experimental car by July 1899. The old car was smaller, weaker, and heavier than the new one. Henry sought the help of lumber dealer William Murphy for a test drive in his new car. The Detroit Automobile Company was founded in 1899, but it failed due to shareholder demands and delays in component production. In the first 2 years, only 20 of Henry's initial car, the delivery wagon, were produced, and it took 6 months to build. Henry was let go, but he never gave up, believing that failure is just a chance to start over again. Henry Ford, a renowned American racing vehicle designer, was relieved to be fired from his job at the Detroit Automobile Company. He chose to focus on motor racing as it was a popular sport in the US, and he wanted to showcase his vehicle's caliber. After his death, the corporation was renamed Cadillac Motor Corporation, and former racer Tom Cooper continued producing racing cars. In 1902, they built the Ford 999, an 80-horsepower vehicle driven by Barney Oldfield, which shattered all American records by 1904. Henry believed he would have investors back when he was ready to launch his third business, Ford Motor Company. The company was renamed Ford Motor Company in 1902 from Ford and Malcolmson Limited. Following his first 2 attempts, Henry decided not to make the same mistakes and focused on building cars that the average person could afford. He hired many talented young men who shared his vision for car design. Over the next 5 years, Henry improved the Model A and Model N models, but what truly changed was how they were produced. He discovered a machine company in Detroit to supply the majority of parts needed for his automobiles and developed the assembly line concept, which he saw at our slaughterhouse while on a trip to Chicago. Henry raised more capital and established his own plant in 1904, where he experimented with the assembly line and hired around 300 people. The assembly line was still a work in progress, but it significantly increased production levels and rose to the top of U.S. vehicle sales. In 1905, Henry Ford founded his own manufacturing company to produce engines, transmissions, and other components for his automobiles. He also discovered vanadium steel, which opened the door to a new chapter in the history of the car business. The Model T, which became one of the most successful automobiles in human history, was among Henry's priciest vehicles ever produced. Ford Motor Company quickly rose to the top of the American automobile industry after 15,000 orders were placed after its debut. In 1910, Henry constructed a new factory in Highland Park, Michigan to make more than 100 models a day. By 1913, the assembly line was formally operational, allowing workers to work from inside and outside the car. By 1914, they had cut production time from 12 hours to 90 minutes, and by 1916, Fords made up roughly half of all automobiles on the planet. Henry's astute strategy to distinguish himself in the car industry was to cut the car's price to less than $400 by 1916 from its previous $850 price. However, many of his employees found repetitive tasks monotonous, so Henry increased the workers' pay by twofold to $5 a day. This led to national workers flocking to Detroit in quest of better pay. Following his invention, Henry Ford purchased out other stockholders in 1919, making him the only owner of the biggest car manufacturer in the world. In due course, Henry appointed his 26-year-old son Edward Ford as president of the business, but Henry was ultimately in charge. However, the Great Depression forced Ford to fire employees and cut prices. Henry continued to oversee the Ford Motor Company for 2 more years after his son Henry I passed away from stomach cancer in 1943. Henry withdrew to his estate and passed away on April 7, 1947 from a brain hemorrhage. This is it for today. We hope you enjoyed the video. If so, then share your thoughts in the comments and also share this video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you can never miss our video.